Hello, my name is Jessica Veloso, and I'm going to talk about what I did for this sprint. So this is the first main task that I made. As a player, I want puzzles to solve to progress. This is the mastery for the implemented puzzles that we already had in the game. So for this, I have to mix the spinning puzzle with the bar placing puzzle. Um, this changed, so puzzle starts to spin when the bar is placed, and it stops when the bar is picked up. I changed that. It's just you place the bar down, and that's when you're able to interact with the pedestal. Before then, you're not able to interact with the pedestal. Let's go to the first. So for this one, create a new spinning image for the puzzle so players aren't confused. This was to make sure that the puzzle was different from the rest. I have my history down here. I estimated this at 2 hours, and it did take me the 2 hours. So we'll go back, and then for this one, create new pedestals that allow the player. This is for this. This was to make the new pedestals. Well, I used the old pedestals, but I made them work with the bars. So instead of just walking up and being able to interact, now you had to walk up, place the bar down, and then interact. I added lights so that you could tell which pedestal goes to which bar, so players weren't confused. This I estimated at 1 day, but I only ended up working on it for about 5 hours. The next one subtask here is the new bars can only be placed on its own pedestal. So the bars are able to be picked up and put down only on its own pedestal, and the bar must snap to its pedestal when it's in range so that it's not too hard for the player to place it down correctly. I estimated this at 5 hours, and I ended up logging just 3. Um, so for our next task that I completed in this sprint, actually, let me go back. All right, so here I am. Oh, I think I went back too many times. Doom. The boulder could be put into inventory, making it disappear. So for this, the boulder wasn't interactable. So when you pressed E, it would go into the player's inventory. I changed that. I fixed it. I estimated this at 5 hours, and it took me 3. Let's go back again. And then when in a build, lighting the torches would not open the door like it did in the editor. So this was a bug from last month. The doors in the caves didn't open when its torch or torches were lit. So the expected result was you walked up to the torch, you lit it with your fire magic, and the door opened. When you lit the torch, it didn't do anything. That was the actual result. So get in range of the torch, select your fire spell, aim at the torch, and right click to cast your spell. The torch lights, but the door did not open. That was a 10 out of 10 because that was game breaking. We couldn't complete the level after that. I estimated this at 5 hours, and I logged 4 on it. We'll go back again. So here, this was fix Frigid Highlands Castle and build the second floor more to hide the bars a bit. For this, that castle was a mess. It was Z fighting a lot. The blocks weren't lined up correctly, so I had a lot of fixing all the bars, fixing all the blocks, making sure they were all even, all placed on the same thing. There was uneven placement of the wall and floor blocks, so I had to fix those again. I had to make a couple of rooms on the second floor in order to hide the bars in different places. I left gold scattered throughout the castle, and also I added in some enemies, so there was something more for the player to do because it was pretty boring. It was just walking through the castle, basically. This, I estimated this at 4 hours, and this ended up taking me 6. This took me a lot longer than the other tasks. There was a lot more to do for that. My last task was make a review build. build lighting in all levels, make the build, test the build, fix any errors, and repeat. So this I estimated at 3 hours, and then I logged 3 hours and 10 minutes. This got mistaken somehow. I must have estimated it at 3 hours and 10 minutes. I meant to estimate it at 3 hours and then log 3 hours and 10 minutes is what happened there. Alrighty, so those are the tasks that I had during this build. Our newest build is over here. That got removed. Our newest build is 1-13. It's right here. We will show in Explorer. Actually, I can close this one then. So here is the build. It's zipped, and then all I did was unzip it, and it's right here. So we'll start it up. And this is our project. The first thing I'm going to show off is in the caves, since it's just a simple, it's simple. The caves. So here you press X to change your magic to a different magic. And once you get your fireball, you can walk over to the torch. You light the torch, and the door opens. That was what I worked on this sprint. Because before you would light the torch and it didn't do anything. It worked in the editor, but it did not work in the build last month at all. So you light the torch, and the door opens. So that was that task. Next we'll go to Frigid for the rest of them. Last month all of these walls were way uneven. They were such a mess. The next task I can talk about is the boulder. It's right here. So when you walk over to it, you can press E all you want, but it's not going to do nothing. And then once you press F, obviously, you can now push it, as was intended. Once we get to the right spot, on top of this button, the button gets pressed and the door opens. These were my puzzles from last month. This was like the twist of the IPTM, basically. That's what happened there. I wanted, we had the spinning puzzle in a different level, and this was my puzzle. This was the twist. It still had the pedestals, and you had to interact with them, but it's a little different. Once we get the bar, we place it on the pedestal. And then we will see what else I worked on this month. This week, sorry, this spring, I should say. So up there, this is our new puzzle. So the pedestals now have lights on them, so you can tell which bar goes on which pedestal. It just makes sense. For these guys, I gotta pull out my weapon. Let's kill them real quick. Alright, so now we can put our weapon back away so we can see better. We come over here. If we try to place this on the wrong pedestal, nothing happens. It doesn't work right. The puzzle's scrambled. But when you press come over here and press E, your bar goes onto your pedestal, and then you're able to spin it. Once you get it in the correct position, it turns green. And then we move on to find our next one. This was just one open area last sprint, so I built everything up here. I added all these extra golds, I added these enemies. That way the player had, something to do. It was kind of, I'll be honest, it was boring. It was really boring. But this makes it a little more something to do. You can pick up gold. That way you can buy a potion from the salesperson over there that our teammate made this month. Right now we're just running over to place our bar. This one was the green one, so we'll go to the green pedestal. Press E. Turn that green, and let's move on. Oh, I just seen a hole in those stairs. That needs to be fixed. So the last bar is over here. For some reason, those enemies are clumping up. I need to add more enemies up here, I think. Those wildings kind of clump up because they only follow the player. So, they're trying to get to you. That's why they're, cluttered up here at the top of the stairs when you get here, because they're following you from underneath. And so those are the things that I worked on this sprint. I made this puzzle with the pedestals and opens the door here, or the drawbridge I should call it. These walls are all new. This whole second floor is new. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you have a great day.
My name is Jonathan Urdaneta, and I am doing my sprint review for game balancing. The first task that I worked on was, as a player, I want to go into a volcano and learn to master puzzles, making an arena for players to learn a puzzle, to implement, progress, and master throughout the game, creating a scenic route to the next puzzle, adding lava and sound. This took me 8 hours to do one day. The next task that I did was, as a player, I want to cross lava, creating a lava path with rock platforms and having rocks crack and sink for all the rocks will drop down once a player leaves the actual rock. It would sink, and it would teach them that the path is not always as it seems, and teaching them the puzzle along the way. This took me 8 hours, one day to do. As a player, mazes are outdated. So I redesigned my map in Glacier's Ridge and added enemies and collectibles through that game map due to the fact that it was an outdated source of doing things. It took me 2 days to actually get that done. And it was estimated as 2 days. It was done in 2 days. Same as the other two was a day, logged in a day, a day, logged in a day. So it usually took me about a few days to get all these done, not in one sitting. But the things that I worked on are in review build 10.27.19.4, and I downloaded it to the laptop, and then I extracted it to my desktop. Here we are in the Enigma main screen. Selecting level Dragon's Point. As you can see, the platforms did drop down, showing that the players their respectable spots. Changing with Z to equip my staff. I implemented these boxes to where the players can see their target. Switching over. Casting a spell raises the platform. Leaving the platforms lowers them. Working with the puzzle to get it in its right configuration. Changes the color. I'm able to raise the platform back up. The player gets hurt by the lava, so the floor is lava. Do not step on lava. Crossing the moat of lava, completing the puzzle. It drops all the platforms down. Able to go to this portal right here, which takes us to the outside of the volcano. Crossing this moat of molten lava, going towards the town, you see the volcano which is erupting. All the smoke in the air. Now going to the next level that I had to fix, Glacier's Ridge. In this snowy tundra in the north, the glaciers sit. The glacier, with its Bifrost Lake, frozen through time. The player can equip his staff, walk on the lake, which does crack behind him. As you can see, the water underneath of the frozen lake. Switching that to sword real quick. Attacking the enemies. They drop coin, which are collectibles. Switching on the pedestal to turn the dial. Switching back towards The staff, the player, can target the water and turn it back to ice. It gets stuck. If the player lets go of the control, the character is slipping on ice. Switching the weapon again. Sword, bring out the sword. Got two enemies here. Able to collect. Switching the actual podium, pedestal, whatever you want to call it, to where the dial makes it select in the right color, comes up on the dial. Going to the next section to where the final pedestal podium will turn the dial to its correct configuration, dropping the gate. Going towards this way, you got the exit portal, which exits to the next level.
Hi, my name is Luke Sheldon, and today I will be doing a sprint review and going over all of the JIRA tasks that were assigned to me for the sprint that we just completed. So here I've got Perforce pulled up so that you can see that we're all using the same build, all the same change list, which is 1027194. And that was updated as of January 13th at 3:39 p.m. So we're all using that same build. So let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, so here we've got all of the JIRA tasks that I was assigned for this sprint. So we'll just start going through them from here. So as the player, I want the world I inhabit to be full of unique places to explore. We want the level free of any areas that feel empty or lifeless, and we want unique points of interest to exist within each level. So one of the points of feedback that we got was some of the levels just felt too empty and big for no reason. So this month I really focused on kind of scaling back and making sure that everything felt meaningful and like it had a place and it wasn't just off in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Alright, now we have the build pulled up. I am going to go ahead and demonstrate some of the improvements that were made just rather quickly here into Thieves' Hideout. So we can see kind of some cool unique areas in here. We added in some cool aesthetics, some new lighting. I'm just going to run by these guys here because, well, there you can see we've got that red splash there is going to be a JIRA task that we cover momentarily, so I'll just go ahead and address that now. That's one of the new additions that were made this month. So responsive HUD when the player takes damage. I'll go ahead and swap over to that task now just so we can take a look and see exactly how much time was logged for that specific task. So the red border does appear around the edge of the screen when damage is taken. I originally estimated that this was going to take me about 6 hours. It ended up taking a bit less time than that. It was about 4 hours. There's still a bug or two here or there, but there were other pressing issues that needed to be addressed first. So I figured, hey, we've got the splash, and I'll save the bug for next sprint. But at least I knew it was working, so it was awesome that we got that done a bit sooner than expected. So we're going to go ahead and run past these guys too. Find the key here. That points us in the direction that we need to head next. So now we need to proceed through the sewer and find our way through the next gate. So there, now that we have the key, we can open the gate. Visual bug there, the grappling hook doesn't disappear when the player picks it up, unfortunately. But if we hadn't picked it up there, we wouldn't be able to use it in this room. Definitely need to proceed. See, that confirms that we can use it. Now we need to get to location where we're able to use it successfully. Little jumping puzzle right here, and as the player progresses along, they can make their way over here and open the final gate. So really happy with how this turned out and shaped up this month. Now we reach a bug that unfortunately has stumped me thus far. So our grappling hook is not attaching to the socket correctly. As you saw in the video already, when I grappled to the grappling point on the ceiling, instead of the rope being in the player's hand, it is currently attaching somewhere near their feet. And then when they detach the rope, it doesn't look like it's attached to their hand at all. It looks like it's attached to their back. I tried changing the socket name. I tried completely removing the socket name and changing it out completely, but so far I have not been able to get it to attach to the hand the way that I want it to, but the functionality was good, so this is a bug that, again, I was forced to move into the next sprint. One of the other tasks that was assigned to me this month was to improve Redwood Mire. During early playtests, we found that the level was just too large. It needed to be scaled back. And there just wasn't enough guidance to really let the player know where they needed to go, and they needed to be rewarded a bit more for actually checking out the level. So swapping over. Alright, so we select Redwood Mire. Now we have a clear quest telling us to find the grappling hook. It shows us the direction that we need to head with that quest camera, making it very clear to the player which direction they need to go. And we also have these breadcrumbs here, these stones still in place. Feedback was that they really enjoyed having those breadcrumbs there to guide the way. I also even added in a few more. You can see the path guides the player right this way. And as well, hidden throughout the level, we do have little piles of gold for them to collect so that they could buy more potions from the NPC that we added in as well. We also really reduced the size. It used to take about a minute and a half to get to Redwood Mire. Now you can see it only takes about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, so players don't feel like their time is being wasted. Alright, this task, as a player, I want a smooth transition when moving from one area to another. And the main completion criteria for this task was to make sure that the grappling hook was being used in accordance with other mechanics in order to show a mastery of the items. So let's go ahead and hop over into the project and take a look at that. Alright, so back into the project, we're going to hop into the caves, which is Jessica's level. We've worked a little bit in tandem, making sure that both the lighting of these pedestals and the grappling hook mechanic were used to show a mastery of both. So I'm going to skip forward in the level a little bit just to showcase that. Alright, once the player has progressed far enough in the level, they will eventually reach a point where they are instructed to pick up the grappling hook again. Once they do, they are able to see the grappling points and swing, just like they learned in Redwood Mire. So, yep, gonna keep progressing through here. As we can see, each one is getting a little bit more difficult. Up these stairs, and across, oops, the final gap. Oops, didn't quite make it. Let's swing back. Detach and try that swing again. There we go. Like I said, getting more difficult every time. Player masters it, and then they reach the top. And then one final task that I knocked out during this sprint was to disable the VR input within the project settings. So that took me almost no time at all. Quick video, found out where the setting was that I needed to disable, and saved us all a big headache that had been popping up for months. So it was good to have that issue taken care of.
Hello, my name is Catherine Asbill, and this is for the sprint review. So the build submit file that we'll be using is this one under 10.27.303. So let's see, I have that in this folder here. See the same day. I just gotta get through this menu opening stuff. There it goes. Let's see, I gotta open up my Jira tasks. Okay, so a lot of the issues I did this month were bug related. A lot of them I can do in the first level here. So this is part of the quest stuff I did. So this way the players don't get confused. It shows you exactly where the objective is. Tells you what it is in big bold letters, and it's right here in the corner of the screen. So where's the quest one? There it is. Okay, so opening this up. As a player, I want to know where my quest objective is. So when the quest gets updated, it uses the camera blend space to show the player where the next object is. After updating the interface, the camera moves back to the player. And it took me about a day to do this because I had to do this in every single level. So 8 hours. So for example, if I go talk to him and he tells me where the next quest is, it's at this pedestal right here. That's where I have to go to collect the fire element. And then it's panning back over to me. So now I know I have to go this way to find the pedestal, which is right there. So I'm gonna pause this again and go back to the Jira. One bug was a camera issue when fighting enemies. What I had to do to fix this was go into each of the enemies, and it was like it's in their collision boxes for if their collision would hit the camera. But you see, if I get really close to them, the camera doesn't like bug out while they're hitting me. So they're I'm just gonna let them kill me for now, because yeah, I don't want to deal with them. But back to this cool quest thingy. Another thing that was a thing I added was I want to be able to spend my money to get potions, right? So I have to add an NPC that I can interact with and buy something from her. And it didn't take me as long as I thought it would. It only took me 2 hours. But let me open that back up again. There we go. So here she is. Press E to talk to her. Hello. There we go. Oh, there we go. So, Oh, I forgot to show you the gold. See, in the bottom right, I got 500 gold and no potions. I talked to her. If I hit yes, she says, here you go. And now I have no gold and I have 1 potion. And, I'll just use my stamina up a little bit, use my magic up a little bit, and I'll use my potion. I'm drinking it, and I'm fully restored. That's all the potion does. That's all she does. Let's see. What's another one I haven't gone over yet? Get that one. See if I can knock out any in the same level before jumping around. So I think the next one I have to do is in Dragon's Point. So I'm gonna go to the level select, just go straight to Dragon's Point. Let's see, how far away is my quest? Well, I could show you guys the spell real fast. Okay. So let's see, where's the ice spell? Okay, so this objective was to take the ice spell and make it interact with certain things so that you get across things. And it only took me about 4 hours to implement it. So this little jumping puzzle Jonathan worked on, it uses my ice spell. I'm going to switch so I can actually aim. And once it hits the box, it comes up. That's all I helped with that. And the other part's in another level. And I will get to there, but I'm gonna get across this real fast. But I'm probably gonna pause the video so you don't have to watch me die while I get through this.